Welcome to the Blood on the Vine podcast. We are a 5th edition D&D actual play podcast going through the Curse of Strahd adventure. Over the next several episodes, we will follow our party through the dread land of Barovia, discovering what horrors lie within and what difference they can make as they attempt to find an ancient order of knights to rid their hometown of a newly discovered werewolf menace. The last hope of the small town of Thornbrook, our heroes are...
I'm Jordan, and I'm playing Thorig, Dwarven Barbarian.
I'm David, and I am playing Sulkier, an Elven Wizard.
I'm Alyssa, and I'm playing Kalia, a human cleric.
And I'm Hans, your DM for the proceedings. With that out of the way, let's get started. Good people of the internet, welcome to the Blood on the Vine podcast. This is a 5th edition playthrough of the Curse of Strahd adventure module. First and foremost, I'd like to warn you that every single person at this table is new to podcasting, so pardon what I'm sure will be terrible audio quality to begin with. I promise we strive to improve over time. But that's not what you're here for, so let's get to the Dungeons & Dragons. I'm your DM, Hans. With me today are 3 brave souls. Starting to my left is Jordan. Jordan, please tell the fine folks out there who you're playing today, your race, class, and anything they'd be able to tell about you at a glance.
Playing Thor Bjornsson, Dwarven Barbarian. Kind of rugged exterior, short, obviously. Wears a bear pelt and a kilt, and that's pretty much it.
Alright, sitting to his side we have David. Same question.
I'm playing Sulkier, an Elven Wizard, of the High Elf specifically. Your typical prim and proper kind of elf, high and mighty to an extent. Really don't have anything to say about him that stands out too much.
Alright, and quietest but not least we have Alyssa.
Hello, I'm playing Kalia, who is a human cleric with the Grave Domain. She's pretty average height and build. She has fair hair, fair skin, gray eyes, and gray clothes.
Alright then, with introductions out of the way, let's get right into the insanity that is Curse of Strahd. Werewolves in the mist. You've heard these dreaded words spoken again and again by farmers, merchants, and adventurers alike. The hamlets east of Thornbrook have fallen prey to a pack of werewolves that spills out of the misty forest on nights of the full moon. Cloaked in the crawling mist that seems to follow them everywhere they go, these beasts spell death and mayhem, slaughtering adults and stealing children before retreating back into their woods. Others have tried to combat the werewolf menace with little success. You are the last best hope of your town, sent with some newly arrived strangers who have promised salvation in a land not far from your own. You have been traveling with them for a couple of days now, along a rickety wagon filled mostly with wine, music, and the strange speech of their people. The woods darken as the trees begin to close ranks, their needle-covered arms interlocking to blot out the sun. The shroud of mist that covers the ground turns into creeping walls of gray fog that silently envelop you until you can't see more than a few feet in any direction. Soon, even the werewolf tracks disappear. You are dropped off by your new companions almost as suddenly as they picked you up. It's made clear by their crude speech and gestures that this is where they intend to part ways with you.
Oh.
Black pools of water stand like dark mirrors in and around the muddy roadway. Giant trees loom on both sides of the road, their branches clawing at the mist. The fog spills out of the forest to swallow up the road behind you. Ahead, jutting from the impenetrable walls on both sides of the road, are high stone buttresses looming gray in the fog. Huge iron gates hang on the stonework. Dew clings with cold tenacity to the rusted bars. 2 headless statues of armed guardians flank the gate, their heads now lying amongst the weeds at their feet. They greet you only with silence.
I need more wine.
All right.
Didn't you have enough on the wagon?
There's no such thing as enough.
For a dwarf, probably not.
We must find a tavern.
Yep. In we go.
So, those with the arms, I suggest you try opening the gates.
Arms. More than arms. Sure, why not?
As you near the massive gates ahead of you, your hand reaches out and just a few inches away you see them pull from your reach, opening before your party with an immensely loud screeching sound.
That was on me.
Mm-hmm.
Unassisted.
Walking through.
Cool. We go.
It's not long on the other side before you hear an immense crash. You turn with the start to find that just as quickly as they had opened, the gates behind you have shut resolutely.
Still totally me.
Towering trees whose tops are lost in heavy gray mist block out all but a death gray light. The tree trunks are unnaturally close to one another, and the woods have the silence of a forgotten grave, yet exude the feeling of an unvoiced scream. Worse still, you catch the scent of death on the air. I'll take perception checks all around.
16.
21?
17.
Alright, it doesn't take long before all of you follow the foul scent to a human corpse half buried in the underbrush about 15 feet from the road. The young man appears to be a commoner. His muddy clothes are torn and raked with claw marks. Crows have been at the body, which is surrounded by paw prints. The man has obviously been dead for several days. He holds a crumpled envelope in one hand.
I reach for the envelope.
It takes a little bit of doing to get the envelope out of the hand. It seems this body is in the earlier and tougher stages of rigor mortis. But with just a little bit of force, you pull the envelope and you could swear you see the corpse's face descend into sadness as you do.
Interesting. I open it up.
Alright. Inside, you find a letter.
Okay.
Stupid question, you do read common, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I read the letter and then hand it to my friends.
So you don't have to read it out loud? I'm beginning to suspect that Kalia can't read.
Oh, no.
Totally can, just not in the mood for it right now.
You read it and I'll tell you if you're right.
What's a smart one should read?
I'm probably the only one that can in this party.
I have a 10 intelligence.
I know how to read, I just choose not to.
Hail thee of might and valor. I, the burgomaster of Barovia, send you honor with despair. My adopted daughter, the fair Irina Kolyana, has been these past nights bitten by a vampire. For over 400 years, this creature has drained the lifeblood of my family. Now, my dear Irina languishes and dies from an unholy wound caused by these vile beasts. He has become too powerful to conquer. So I say to you, give us up for dead and encircle this land with the symbols of good. Let holy men call upon the walls of weeping Barovia. Leave our sorrows to our graves and save the world from this fate of ours. There is much wealth entrapped in this community. Return for your reward after we are all departed for a better life. Kolyan Indirovich, Burgermeister. And then I will promptly pass the letter back to whoever wants to take it.
I will hold on to it.
Alright. The silence around you feels all the heavier as the weight of the words on the envelope sink in. As you continue to stare into the trees and mist, you can see no way off of this main road. Only ahead into the gray.
Does anyone wish to bury him? Or I will do it, but if anyone wants to help.
I got a stick.
Okay.
I will just keep watch.
Okay. I will start digging to bury him.
You said you're keeping watch? Throw me a perception check. And Foreg, what are you doing while this goes down?
Assisting with the hole.
Okay.
Cool.
Did I mention that by keeping watch, I meant reading a book while not paying attention to everyone else?
Wonderful.
Yeah, that would explain it.
In that case, you slowly get the feeling that something is not right, and as you look up, you realize there is a tall, gaunt-faced man reading your spellbook over your shoulder.
Oh.
I will quickly snap it closed and take a few steps forward before turning around to face the man.
He stares at you and then gestures for you to fetch your companions.
Kelia and Dwarf,
Yeah?
we got company.
Huh? I look up to the person.
Not responding to dwarf.
It's clear just at a glance, the finery of this man's clothes, his slick back hair, the garish jewelry he wears. It marks him as some sort of nobility, but he wears no obvious badge of office. He muses quietly to himself for a moment, staring at each of you before just dryly chuckling. What has Ava brought me this time?
Who is Ava?
A better question is, who are you?
I'm Kalia.
Please do go on.
We were here, well, we were told there's some people here who could potentially help our village.
With what sort of problem?
Werewolves.
Interesting. And you too, do you hail from the same land as Kalia?
Aye.
Unfortunately.
Well then let me be the first to formally welcome you to my land of Barovia.
Your land.
My land.
Well, thank you. And you are?
I am Count Strahd von Zarovich, Dread Lord of all lands of Barovia and beyond, and you will do well to remember the name.
Right.
Okay.
I do take note. Literally.
In the future, should you see my fine visage, you would also do well to kneel and remember your place.
Okay.
You will be given exemption this time, for you are the ignorance of travelers. Please do make yourselves comfortable here, for you will be here anon.
Okay. Is there a town nearby?
There is. Continue up the one road. You will find Barovia.
Okay.
It is both.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Have a nice day, for I fear it may be the last nice one in your path.
Oh.
And the man just steps back into the fog and seems to disappear into it.
That was weird.
I like him.
Okay. I continue burying the body.
I like how we managed to get away with not giving him our names.
True, yeah.
I prefer it such.
You guys are a little rude there.
Continue to.
Alright, a little bit of time passes, and though it's a little hard with the gravelly, wet, muddish earth, you do manage to get the boy buried before too long.
Cool. I say some quick words of parting for the poor guy. Shall we go?
Unless you'd rather sit here and wait.
No, thank you.
I'm thirsty.
Make our way to the next town.
Yes,
Alrighty.
wine.
Give me a survival check, and I'll give you advantage because there is one road.
All of us are.
Whoever.
Okay.
19.
19 keeps you pretty well on the one road.
Yeah, we stayed in the lines because we
Yeah.
learned how to color.
It can be hard with this fog. At times, you can't see more than 10 feet ahead of you.
That is pretty crazy.
Before too long, tall shapes loom out of the dense fog that surrounds everything. The muddy ground underfoot gives way to slick, wet cobblestones. The tall shapes become recognizable as village dwellings. The windows of each house stare out from pools of blackness. No sound cuts the silence except for mournful sobbing that echoes through the streets from a distance.
Well,
Anyone see a tavern?
we can ask someone.
Yeah, you can ask someone.
Coming in from this side of town, give me a quick perception check because of the fog.
Not so
Ooh.
good.
9.
I'm
Yep.
not seeing anything.
No, you have no idea which one of these buildings could possibly be a
Damn
tavern.
Is there a person nearby?
Signs.
Only the sounds of crying.
Might have to try looking up for the signs rather than
Just
down
start
at the
kicking walls
dirt.
until someone comes out.
Oh.
Why do you have to kick walls?
Are you gonna go kick doors on random houses? Okay.
Probably
No,
not such a good idea.
he's not going to go to random houses. He's going to pick it out before kicking it.
Yes. There's no proverbial random way for me to decide.
Coming into town, the first place you see that is of any note and is not just a random boarded up home is a building. The sparse light from this building spills out from behind drawn heavy curtains. A sign over the door, creaking on its hinges, reads Bildrath's Mercantile.
A shop.
Maybe it's one.
Maybe. Should we go inside? Well, I can at least go inside to ask.
Care to knock because my foot method is not favored.
I would
Typically, with the business, you could usually just walk in if it's unlocked.
Well, don't mean to be rude.
I will knock on the door.
Hey, wait! Who's there?
I'm sorry. Get up it.
Just some adventures.
Adventurers who? I'm going to phrase this next sentence very specifically. The door is unlocked, but I am not inviting you inside.
So we're not welcome in?
No.
Oh.
Please read between lines.
So, going inside?
No, he just said we are not welcome.
in, they just kick you out. So nothing wrong with this. If he really doesn't want us in there and buying goods, then he'll just...
If that is what you want to try, I will not stop you. But I think it might just be simpler to ask the man where the tavern is to get you closer to your wine.
But what if he has wine? And then I'm already close to it.
Do you have wine in there to buy?
Not particularly. I have many things for adventurers even, but not wine.
Okay.
And not for us.
Apparently not.
Where would one procure sought after wine?
Turn around. Do you see a very large building?
I don't know. Do I?
Yes.
Okay.
There.
Fog.
My 9 didn't seem to do too well. Proverbial.
So right across the way.
It's across the way and behind a couple of other little buildings,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
it's obvious now that you're staring at it. That's a tavern.
Totally saw that
There we
before.
go.
The fog, it was just...
Well, thank you,
blurry.
good sir.
You're not welcome.
Alright, shall we carry along?
Yes, and not
I'm already going that way.
pester this rather rude man ever again, I suggest.
A single shaft of light thrusts illumination into the main square, its brightness looking like a solid pillar in the heavy fog. Above the gaping doorway, a sign hangs precariously askew, proclaiming this to be the Blood on the Vine Tavern. What's everyone's passive perception?
13.
13.
Very high. Okay, each of you, as you walk into the building, notice that this building was originally the Blood of the Vine Tavern, and someone has since scratched the F out with an N.
Interesting.
Is this a really tall end?
Kind of blurry.
Shall we enter?
The dwarf wants his wine.
Okay.
You gotta ask me if I want to.
He's
Please
already
don't kick
in.
the door.
Once you've made your way in, you find a building that's about 60 feet square. There's just a handful of people inside. There are 3 garishly dressed women huddled at a table in the corner. There's one dour-looking man sitting by his lonesome at a near-central table. And there's the barkeep, a squat, balding human who is just mechanically washing the glasses along the bar with a rag that can't be any cleaner than the glasses themselves. No one addresses you as you enter.
There seems to be your
That's how I
bar.
prefer.
Yeah, I'm addressing the barkeep.
Oi,
Pitcher of wine.
whole pitcher, cost a silver.
That'll do.
He just, with no joy or love for the craft at all, plunks a weighty silver pitcher in front of you.
Silver for silver.
Happily take that.
He looks at the two of you expectantly.
Nothing right now, thank you.
I'm good.
And he goes back to cleaning his glasses.
Cool.
I'm assuming you're going to need help into your stool.
Don't need a stool.
Just gonna stand?
Thorig stands beside the table. It's the perfect height to hold his drink.
Oh.
Exactly.
Nice.
Convenience.
Alright.
I'm drinking away.
I will sit down and go back to reading.
Cool. I guess I'll go talk. You said there was a sir and some women?
Yes. The women do seem to be leaning in, speaking to each other in a somewhat gossipy tone, and pointing at the three of you every so often.
They're talking about us, I think, guys.
Well, we are the new faces in town.
True. Wonder how often they get adventurers.
Why don't you go ask?
Sure, I'll get up and approach the women.
As soon as it becomes clear you're heading anywhere near their table, they pull an extra chair out of nowhere. Oh, come, girlie, come sit with us. Yes,
Oh,
hello.
Thank you. I take a seat.
Well, welcome to the tavern. How are you doing this day?
I'm okay. Just buried a dead guy a little while ago. How are you guys?
We are, and they look at each other for a moment and look back to you. We are, as we always are.
Yeah, as well as you can be, I guess.
Yes. Barovia and whatnot.
Yes.
Now, what brings you to our dank little burb?
Well, we're making our way down the road, and this is the path. This is where we came to on the path.
Yes, there is one road.
Yes.
What brought you to the road?
Oh, some, we know their names, right? In this one. We don't know their names, okay.
Mhm.
Some very helpful people, I guess.
You're now realizing that they were dressed a lot like these women.
Okay. Kind of similarly dressed to you guys.
They look to each other and laugh loudly. That is, not prosperous.
Oh. Why is that?
Did the gates close behind you?
Yes. Actually, it's a little weird.
You did not try to go back, did you?
No?
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Oh.
We don't recommend it.
What happens?
You die.
Oh. That's a little disturbing.
The fog, it slowly creeps in, much like the despair of this land, and it will choke the life from you as it has choked out the sun.
Lovely.
Would have hoped for some exploding runes or something.
Alright then. Do you guys have problems with werewolves here too?
They, again, look at each other before answering you. Werewolves, yes. Problems, not so much.
Oh.
They usually leave our people alone.
No.
The Barovians, now they have problems with werewolves.
Oh.
But we Vistani, we travel as we please. It seems the lanterns and the singing keep them at bay.
Okay. Interesting. I don't think that worked out too well for our village.
Is your village gone, dearie?
Well, you were missing a lot of people, yeah. Some werewolves attacking and stealing them, apparently.
Is that why they sent you?
Yeah, we're actually told, sort of gathered and told to come here. So, there's the three of us.
We were told to find people that could take care of werewolves, and the people that told us that they could bring us to people brought us here.
Oh,
To be more
Elfkin,
specific.
please come, sit. We almost never
I am
see
already
your sword.
comfortable where I am. Thank you very much.
Dwarfkin, please carry your Elfkin to our table.
Is there more wine?
We can get more wine.
Don't have to ask me twice.
Is it safe to say that Thorig just picks up your chair and carries you over on it?
That's the only way I'm moving.
Okay.
Good enough for me. Preferred method of transportation.
I continue to read even while hoisted 2 feet into the air.
Nice.
There's a fresh pitcher brought over to your table by a very disgruntled-looking barkeep. Let us be the first, if no one has, to welcome you to our land. I am Alanka. This is my sisters, Mirabelle and Sorbia. And we have been told this is... Actually, no, I don't think I caught your name, dearie.
Oh, I'm Kalia.
Kalia, and...
Sulkier.
Is that pronounced with the sigh, or is that just your temperament?
Take it how you will.
Understood. And you, friend?
Thorik.
Ah, easy to remember. Now, Sulkir, you seem very invested in your book and not at all afraid.
Afraid of what?
Everything. Is this your first night in the land?
I peek outside. Can I tell if it's even night?
It's the sky is maybe starting to get a tiny bit orange, but it's not night yet.
Well, it's currently my first day here. Once night falls, then yes, it would be my first night.
Don't let your first night catch you outside. Don't let any night catch you outside.
I usually try to make that my usual habit regardless of where I am. This entire time I do not look up from my book besides when I looked out the window, briefly.
Well, you can never tell with the Elfkin. Half worship the trees, half live in them.
Is it something we should be worried about?
Wouldn't those both be
Everything.
the same kind of elves?
That makes sense.
You name a trouble, we have it here. And it usually comes for the outsiders first.
Well, I've heard us outsiders have a lot of trouble having way too much money.
Speak for yourself.
And the implication of this would be...
Where you said problems typically come outsiders' way first.
Mm.
So if I have a problem having lots of money, then I'm expecting to have lots of money.
Right, then.
Just taking what you said literally
Mhm,
to
mhm.
point out, how true it could be.
They make sure to scoot the wine a little closer to Thorig than Sulkir.
Wasn't partaking in it anyways.
Have you found yourselves a place to stay yet?
No.
Oh, you may want to get on that.
Is there a place to stay here?
Without being asked, the barkeep perks up. This ain't an inn. It's a tavern.
Oh. Is there a place to stay near here?
Got a church.
Okay.
Got empty houses.
I would not feel comfortable staying in an empty house.
It won't be empty when we're in it.
That's true, but it would almost feel like we're stealing the house.
We are borrowing. It's not like we're carrying the house away with us.
True.
You're using the house for its intended purpose, shelter.
To house people.
We are giving it purpose in this dreary place.
Clearly, the owners probably don't need it anymore.
They're dead.
Oh.
My assumption.
So I'm assuming for every house there's a dead person.
Yeah, most of them are still in there.
Oh. Lovely.
Great.
That's a lot of
More
bodies to
dead.
bury.
In all bodies. Some are up.
As in undead.
You'll notice most of them are boarded from the outside.
Oh,
Don't care for those.
Approximately how many are we talking?
Dunno. Ain't been brave enough to count.
Okay.
so is there a place that is neither the church or a house with a dead owner associated with it?
You friends with Mad Mary?
Who's that?
You hear the crying outside?
Yes, I did notice that.
That's that.
Oh, okay.
Do you think you'd be able to sleep in a house with a crying woman?
She don't stop.
Oh,
I don't think she sleeps.
that poor lady. What's wrong with her?
I don't know. Been a week.
Oh,
You could try the Burgermeister, but his place is not peaceful either.
no. Burgermeister. Hold on. We have a letter.
Heard of that guy.
Yeah, we have a letter from the Burgermeister. Or we found this letter, anyway. On some poor, dead individual.
What's it say?
A lot of stuff.
But what does it say?
Summarize.
It seemed like it was a warning for people not to come here, but since you have to have been in here to have found the letter, it defeats the purpose.
That boy was on his way out to warn people. He didn't make it.
No.
Very slightly, risks a tiny glance at the table next to you. You must have bought a Vistani potion. Must not have worked. Sometimes they don't.
What do you mean?
The Vistani have potions. They let you go through the mist, but they don't always work.
Oh. Interesting.
Like 9 times out of 10 doesn't work.
Every so often we find a body. Usually we don't. We like to think those ones worked.
Interesting. Well, this one was not attacked by mist, seemingly.
Oh, what got him?
Well, there was paw prints around, so...
There's a very quiet moment in the tavern, and the dour man at the lone table coughs, and when you look up, he gestures to join him.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you just
That's
come
really
over
popular.
here?
At the mention of the wolves, the barkeep left you and turned right back to his duty.
Okay. I get up and come to the beckoning man. Hello.
Hello, traveler. You have mentioned the Burgomeister.
Yes, I have a letter from him.
May I see this?
Yes?
He takes it and just glances at the signature and hands it back to you.
Okay.
He says, I feared. Our messenger has not left town.
Oh, you know...
Wait, what do you mean left town? You mean left...
Left Barovia. His expression. His bad accent. His expression.
So you know...
Yes, I mostly wanted to confirm if that was my father's hand. It seems your story bears fruit. I am Ismark Koljanovic. It is a pleasure to meet.
Oh, hello. I'm Kalia.
I hear you are brought to my home by troubles.
Yes, werewolves. Our village has been attacked by werewolves.
Have they informed you that you are trapped?
Seems to be the case, unfortunately.
If you've been sitting there for as long as we've been in here, you should have heard the entire conversation that just happened.
I am, how to say, faking polite.
Oh, okay.
You're just wasting time.
Yes. It's the way. In that case, let me be direct. You have nothing better to do, but you seem to be good people. I have a problem and I could use your help.
Okay, what do you need help with?
First, I need you to help me bury my father. The burgomeister of town has died.
Oh. What happened?
That is the second thing I need help with.
Oh.
Our home has been again and again. He just looks around the tavern. Perhaps we should discuss this elsewhere.
Okay. Are you done with your drink, Thorg?
I have a cask in the manor.
Carry on.
Alright, I guess we leave.
I'll close my book and pack it away.
You notice behind you that the three women are murmuring very unhappily once you leave with this man, but it seems to be more at this man.
Okay.
And perhaps the things that were said that were best left unsaid.
Ah.
Took the
Okay.
picture with me, by the way.
No one gets up after you.
Oh.
Fair enough.
There we go.
Do you mean both? Well, you probably finished one already.
Yeah,
by now.
the
Yeah.
first one was done.
Yeah.
Took the second one that had probably about a quarter left.
Ismark takes you to a weary-looking mansion that squats behind a rusting iron fence. The iron gates are twisted and torn. The right gate lies cast aside while the left swings lazily in the wind. The stuttering squeal and clang of the gate repeats with mindless precision. Weeds choke the grounds and press with menace upon the house itself, yet against the walls the growth has been tramped down to create a path all about the domain. Heavy claw markings have stripped the once beautiful finish off the walls. Great black marks tell of fires that have assailed the mansion. Not a pane nor a shard of glass stands in any window. All the windows are barbed with planks, each one marked with signs of evil omen. Ismark raps a couple of times on the door, pauses, and then repeats. And you hear a small, daintier voice from the side ask, Ismark, have you returned? Yes, sister, please open the door. I have guests who may help. A moment later, the door is opened and you are welcomed inside by a striking young woman, auburn hair. Give me quick perception checks. You note that even in her own home, she wears some fairly ancestral-looking armor, and as she cracks the door, looks at her brother and looks at you, her eyes fall to a sword above the mantelpiece in the room behind.
Okay.
What's everybody's perception checks?
21.
8.
Everybody with the cleric can clearly see the fang marks on the side of her neck. Aside from that, the interior of the mansion is well furnished, yet the fixtures show signs of great wear. Noticeable oddities are the boarded-up windows and the presence of holy symbols in every room. The Burgomeister is in a side drawing room on the floor, lying in a simple wooden coffin surrounded by wilting flowers and the faint odor of decay. The siblings quickly and quietly discuss with one another whether or not, I mean, you can catch snippets, they're not that subtle.
Yeah.
Who are you? Does he think that you can be of aid? And why is she being so apprehensive? Back and forth, until finally Ismark breaks away and tells you, I am needing your help in getting my sister out of this town and into the relative safety of Vallaki, where from whence we may plan an organized attack upon Kessel Ravenloft and the Dread Lord Strahd.
Yeah.
That escalated quickly.
Yes, I am afraid I have no time to, as you say in the tavern, waste with niceties.
Okay.
Twice already he has visited Arena, and we fear, should he come again, she will leave our mortal coil to become one of his.
Ah.
2 questions.
Yes.
One.
In a
Where?
moment.
Second, is there anyone that will pursue us?
Almost certainly every fiend at the disposal of Strahd itself.
Lots of things to kill.
We just met him.
Yeah, like, so the name sounds familiar.
Not a nice guy.
Then his mark is already upon you. Has he learned anything of you?
Name and the fact that we are not native to these lands.
Both
Just
siblings
her.
curse and grab a random holy symbol off the wall to carry around with them. Then his eyes are upon you at all times. You will never again be safe.
Oh. Hmm. Okay. Creepy.
I just shake my head at
Only her
Kalia.
name. He didn't care for us.
Do you travel as one?
Typically.
That's all he needs.
Hmm.
All he has to do now is watch her long enough for you to introduce yourself to someone else, as you have at the tavern.
Sorry, guys.
The Vistani are no friends of yours. They are Strahd's loyal puppets.
And who are they?
The women in the tavern, those who drove you here, and those who you will surely meet on your path.
Ah.
Fantastic.
That said, they cannot know just how much of their menace is known to us. If they knew that we viewed them as enemies, they would surely bring war upon us.
Mm.
There are some in our number who would help us, and we best not burn that bridge until we must.
Okay.
So you ask us for help, but what are you offering in return?
You say you are seeking people who can rid you of your werewolf problem?
Yes.
There is an order of knights in this homeland, the Silver Dragon Knights. They have mostly passed into legend, but if they remain, surely nobility of this land will be able to call them to your side. And as you can see by the next room, I now bear the title of Burgomeister.
Okay.
And your name would carry clout only after Strahd is dealt with?
Likely before, but if you intend to leave this place and aid your people, he'll need to be killed first. It is by his will that the fog keeps you trapped here.
Fantastic.
So our mission is clear.
But as I have said, none of this can transpire until we bury my father. He is not long dead, and we wish to see him interred in holy ground so he does not become something else.
Yes, we have heard of other things.
Heard the night's not so good around here, so we should probably wait till morning.
That would be wise.
Okay.
There are open rooms upstairs. Please be sure to check the boarding on the windows wherever you choose to settle down.
All right.
You're led upstairs by Ismark as Arena goes back to rebolting and rebarring the door. Shown to a couple of empty bedrooms. They explains that the windows have been fortified as best they can, but nothing is certain, so sleep with your weapons nearby.
Okay.
He says he doesn't expect it to be a restful night, but it will be something. He just cautioned that no matter what you see, do not go outside.
Okay.
Wasn't planning on it.
If there are 2 rooms made available to you, each with a couple of beds, who would like to sleep where? They're directly across the hall from each other on the 2nd floor.
This one snores. I'm assuming. Dwarf, probably.
Probably.
Moderately.
Was that a D6 for snoring severity?
Yes.
It wasn't
6 was bad. 5 to 3 was meh. Depending on how heavy of a sleeper you are. And then 1, 2, hardly at all.
I like that because you're a dwarf, none was not an option.
Nope.
It was just a little bit.
There's always going to be some. Keep it realistic.
So yeah,
Yeah.
since the dwarf snores, I will choose to not be in the same room as him.
Cool. Sounds good.
But you don't sleep anyway.
You can still stand watch.
It still interrupts my,
Oh, that's
ability to concentrate.
You can't read as easy.
You don't know how much the flimsy shards of wood they've left for doors will block out the sound, but it's better than nothing.
There'll at least be 2 in between us.
Yeah. You've noticed that most of the heavier doors have been taken down to rebuild the outside of the coffin and replaced with whatever cheap stuff they had laying around.
Okay.
Or reboard windows, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Check since I'm probably going to be alone, check the windows, make sure things are secure as far as barricade from the outside.
Yeah, just a little bit of examination. Everything seems to be holding up okay.
I'll examine the other room.
Cool.
Nothing jumps out at you as drastically unsafe. The window's boarded up. There's a makeshift lock on your shitty little door. It is what it is.
Which room were you staying in?
Not the one with him.
Fair enough.
So I can sleep.
Fair enough.
Elf, who has a choice of the two. Were you trying to get some proper sleep, or are you just meditating through the night? There's not a mechanical difference between the two. It's a comfort thing.
Because of the snoring factor, I probably won't even be able to sleep regardless, so I'm not even going to attempt.
It's moderately muffled by the 2 doors in between, but it's not entirely negated.
Yeah. But even just knowing the fact that he snores is enough to annoy me, so
Oh.
I will just simply do
It's the wine, I
typical
swear.
trance.
All right.
The wine is probably the reason why it's not as bad.
Wine's why it's harder to wake him up for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me a quick roll off and just let me know who gets the highest and who gets the lowest.
All of us?
Mm-hmm.
Natural. 16.
9.
5.
Thorig,
These great things.
it's just past midnight and you hear like pebbles bouncing off the wood outside your window.
That can wake him up?
Oddly enough, it does. You don't know why such a small noise would wake you up. And you hear whispered in from outside. Thorig. Give me a wisdom check. Just a generic wisdom check.
Just look smart. 21.
You know that voice. That's a Dwarven voice. That's a Dwarven woman's voice. Thorig. My Thorig, are you in there?
Can't be real. I buried you.
Thorig.
Nope.
This
Told
goes
to
on
not believe.
for the better part of an hour.
Is there more wine?
There is. They probably wheeled the cask up to your room.
Oh, how nice.
They got it
Until I
upstairs.
can attempt to sleep again.
Oh.
Her pleading grows more intense over the course of the hour until finally it ends in one long tortured scream.
And chug off.
It is the same way she screamed when she died.
No.
Meanwhile, across the hall, you hear scratching at the walls. He who does not sleep. Yeah, I'll take a perception check.
That is a 17 total.
17 total. You don't just hear scratching. You hear the wood straining, as if it was being pulled by an incredible force.
Oh boy. I'm gonna at least scoot over so I'm side or next to Kalia so I could wake her up if needed. And I'm just going to kind of have my eyes fixed on the window, because I'm assuming that's where most of the scratching is probably coming from.
Yes. With the loud, persistent squeak of a nail being pulled from a wall, you see one of the lower central planks just be removed entirely from the window. And amongst the darkness outside, you see a faint green light flickering.
Usually means good things, right?
Wait, I thought it was boarded from the inside. How'd they take the nail?
It's punched into the roof. DM mistakes.
It's alright.
The other buildings are the outside.
Yes, this one's the inside. And so you've seen this, the board on the inside of the window just slowly be pushed open on one side and then pushed open on the other. And as it would fall, you see just a white claw-like hand catch it and bring it outside to not make any noise.
Oh.
And then darkness and pale green lights.
Moderately creepy.
I like to point out that I am as pale as that claw is now.
Okay. You also hear a sniffing sound. A frantic, rapid sniffing sound.
I nudge Kalia.
Kelly, on a scale of 1 to 10, how heavy of a sleeper are you?
Probably medium.
Okay.
You could also just roll for it.
And say that sounds like a
True.
perfect D10 roll.
I'm gonna say just make a fucking con save and see if you wake up at this point.
A 1.
You sleep right. Oh, is that on a D10 or
Yeah.
a?
Yeah,
oh,
D10.
Okay. No, you're a very light sleeper.
Nice.
Very convenient. You spring up.
Huh.
You're alarmed at his very small touch.
What's wrong?
I point to the window. And the
Oh.
board is
In your waking up state, I'm gonna take some disadvantage on a perception check.
17.
Fear cuts straight through the haziness of waking up, and you too can hear a sniffing sound from outside.
What's that?
And then you both hear the next plank up start to strain.
I'm immediately gonna use my height to my advantage to kind of stay away from the window, but kind of push the plank towards the wall with my, very poor strength score.
Okay. I'm going to factor that in and call it 3/4 cover. So what is your armor class plus 3?
17.
Okay, because this claw is definitely going to try to make that tummy swipe.
Oh.
You said 17?
First blood.
A better DM would have had the monster manual ready.
But that's what the beauty of editing's for.
It is.
Also, why
but-
edit?
I was going to say, if I edit that out, it's going to set an unrealistic standard of quality. Let's lower their expectations early.
I mean, we came out with that, disclaimer at the beginning there.
That's true.
We might not be great.
We just take the party roll route, and anytime I'm flipping through something, just go book, 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 book.
Or
17 is exactly what they got.
Fantastic. Are we trying to keep this a curse-free podcast?
Fuck no.
Okay.
good to fucking know.
Jesus Christ, you're a wizard. So it's 8 slashing damage across your precious little tum-tum.
Mm-hmm.
And if you weren't an elf, I would be asking you for a con save. That doesn't drop you, does it?
No.
Okay.
No. I could survive
A little more
another
than a
one of
third,
that.
though.
Yeah.
I forgot you're level 3. Okay, I feel much better now. After that, the claw...
I don't.
The claw disappears back out the window in a definitely upward motion, and you hear a slurping.
Ugh.
Before you see the claw lower back down, completely clean of your blood.
Okay. I will just back away. kind
Let's
of
roll initiative.
Gripping my
no.
stomach.
We're not caught on by now.
You will catch on, because I imagine the elf is going to yell.
That and the sleeping wasn't
Yes.
very well.
But what we're going to do is treat you as if you were surprised, and you'll miss the first round of initiative.
Doesn't matter anyway.
Doesn't matter with what I rolled.
Thor, what did you roll?
A 4 with a +3.
Sulkir?
10 total.
Oh, jeez, that's horrible.
Kalia?
Get it out now.
5.
Isn't this so
Yay for
typical?
the slow ones.
Woohoo! So great.
Hey, they rolled slower than that.
Oh.
Thor, what's your dexterity modifier?
Sure. 3.
Okay, you're not last.
Oh.
That's all I hope for.
But I mean, I'm still so technically I'm last.
You're last for the first round. Because you don't go.
Yeah. Late to the party.
Alright. As this goes down, you hear the front door that you saw so heavily barricaded and locked before be kicked the fuck open below you.
Oh no! Oh, that's not good.
Wait, the door behind us?
No, the door on the bottom floor that
The
you
front
came in
door.
that held those locks and bolts and bars and...
Oh dear.
And then
The one
we're
that
at
was supposed to give
Sulkir.
us the most protection.
Yeah. That's not good.
Sulkir, we'll start your turn with a perception check.
Nat 20.
Nice.
Okay, you definitely hear clawed and
That's
padded
it.
feet.
That's all I get.
You easily hear clawed and padded feet on the floor below come running in the door.
Lovely.
End it on a high note. Leave it at the 20 and just call it a day.
Yeah.
Alright, well that's been our pocket now.
I saw the future.
Episode
and-
1 and end.
One and done, let's go.
Okay. Well, is the claw still kind of in sight through the
Yes,
window?
it's like menacingly swaying back and forth.
You're close to being diddled again.
Warriors!
Okay. What I would like to do is to cast Magic Missile,
I thought that's why you were
Yeah.
asking.
Not a bad idea.
Kill it.
and then
Fire.
I would like to proceed out the fuck out of this room.
Okay, start
Which
with
probably
the,
won't be the best idea because I'm probably running towards more, but I don't know better at the moment.
start with the missiles.
Damage.
And how many do I start with? Is
Roll
it
for damage.
3? That's 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 total.
Alright. Force damage?
Yes. I wasn't even using the dice that I wanted to be using.
Should have brought a pencil so my typing's not on the recording. Oh well.
I have a pencil.
Shh, too late.
Beginners.
That just happened, so Kalia.
Oh. Can I see it?
You can see it recoil back from Magic Missile. It's
Yeah, I
there,
mean,
but
like-
you just see the claw.
So if I attack it, it would be disadvantage or something.
It would have 3/4 cover, just like Bobo did.
Unless you just have something like magic missile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I figure that's why you're being so very specific with can I still see a piece of it?
Right. I guess
Oh,
I'll follow my friend out the door.
Okay. Magic missile the hell out of your pinky toe.
Oh.
As the two of you burst out the door and round the corner to look at the stairs below, you see 3 large black wolves barreling up them.
Oh, do we want to let Thorg know? Did we let him know?
Well, Thorg's awake.
Yep.
He hears crap going down.
Okay.
But this is the
Thorg!
round.
I'm amidst chug right now.
Thorg!
In a round where Thorig is not surprised, this is where he'd be coming in.
Okay, cool.
Meanwhile, the wood on both windows in your room and the room you two just fled bursts open.
Oh, jeez.
And I was going to say there's no one there to see it, but Thorig, a gaunt, pale figure with long, distended black fingers drawn out into claws by the wretches of time and rot, falls in front of you. It's got a long, just fleshy pink tongue that lolls around like a dead limb out of its mouth, easily reaching down to its mid-chest. It looks at you, hisses, and lunges at you.
Oh.
Did you sleep in your armor?
I mean, I don't wear armor.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Cool.
So yes.
What is your armor class then?
20.
Okay, I'm gonna be nice and not call you prone.
Yeah, you use a shield, don't you?
Opt for an extra 2.
Does not bite you. It does not claw you. Yes, it does.
Ouch.
Retracted, both claws are 1 attack.
Cool.
As the one in the other room comes hurtling out the door to sandwich your friends between wolves and undead thing.
Wait, did you run out of the room with me?
Yes.
Okay.
A voice echoes from downstairs. Why make it difficulties, Mark? Just give Tatiana to me. Solkir.
So you said that there's 3 black wolves running up the stairs towards me?
Yes.
Burning hands.
Okay, what is your saving throw DC?
Assuming I can hit all 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Very narrow staircase.
The DC, I believe, at the moment is 14.
So they rolled a 2.
Yes.
Not great. For the
And that's going to be for 10 damage total.
That is going to barbecue the 3 wolves that were running up the stairs, and they fall into just charred husks at the bottom. Is that all you would like to do?
Is the white gangly creature closer to me or Kalia?
You're sort of
Side by
equidistant,
side.
yeah.
It's a bigger hallway then.
If you'd like, you can choose to hide behind the cleric. If that's what you're going for.
Yeah.
Kayla, did you sleep in your armor?
What is your armor?
Scale now?
You probably did not.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so you'll have your shield, but not your armor.
Okay.
Because I imagine you don't want a level of exhaustion in the morning.
No.
In which case our AC is identical, so it doesn't really matter, but I already have damage.
You take those wolves off the initiative. Kalia.
14. So there's a gangly creature with invisible.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt.
Okay. I was going to say, if you don't deal with it now, it'll be upon you on its turn.
Is it possible I know what these creatures are?
The cleric can make a religion check. Are you trained in religion?
No.
Okay, we'll have the
I
cleric
just
check.
high intelligence.
I am.
Probably not.
I miss.
Thorig, are you trained in religion?
Oh, I miss, by the way.
Oh, I thought that was your religion check.
No, sorry.
Okay, do you want to make a religion check?
Yes.
There's
Give me a second.
Also, please do describe spell, because Guiding Bolt's not one of
Oh,
those ones
okay,
that has
yeah,
like an
hold on.
obvious...
I got a 20 on my religion check.
This is a ghoul.
Ah.
They are, unlike regular zombies or things like that, they're intelligent,
Okay.
They actually hunger for the flesh of the living, and they have a paralytic touch that all but elves are afflicted by.
Oh, fun.
The same thing that was in my room.
Yes.
Okay.
Lovely.
Good enough to know.
So Guiding Bolt does. A flash of light streaks towards a creature of your choice within range, and then make a ranged attack spell against the target. And then on the hit...
Well, I meant more like when you cast the spell, what does it look like?
Oh, sorry.
Like player interpretation.
Right. I'll have to think about that.
Never mind then.
Okay. Sorry.
Hadouken! Thoric.
Like a Yondu's arrow kind of thing or something.
Oh.
She's a grave cleric. She just throws tombstones at people.
So, given the context that I was haunted and drinking profusely because I was haunted by my dead wife, I'm going to be in a fit of rage.
Okay.
That's it's per day, so it's probably going to go away. And I'm going to swing at the thing very angrily in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a 17.
That is a hit.
And that is for 10 damage.
You have grievously but not fatally wounded the
And what'd you roll on the dice?
That's 6.
And you have plus
Plus
4
4.
strength. What do you add because of your rage, though?
Oh, 2, so 12.
Okay, that's still a nasty but not untimely wound.
Everything counts.
Yep. I gotta make that bigger so I remember. See that. Actually, I'll put it down here.
The ghouls are going to lash back out. The one with the axe in its chest, I'm just going to take care of first. Chompy chompy. No. Scratchy scratchy. No.
Nice.
Who was, how did Operation Hide Behind the Cleric go? Was that called off?
I mean, we'd both be probably equally
It's
a
true.
chance to hit.
But if
at
I
this
know
point.
Sulkir, he's wounded and he's
Yeah.
scared.
Do you
He won't admit that he's scared.
So, did you relay the information about its paralytic touch, though?
Oh, yeah, I probably would. But you're
So-
elf too, so...
So don't really
So
touch
I
it.
would
Got it.
not be worried about the paralysis effect
But
of
you would
its
be
claw.
worried about being attacked.
Yes, but you're also a cleric, so I know
Oh.
you being paralyzed is more hazardous than
True.
me being injured and you being able to fix it later.
Right.
Roll for it.
I don't
Just
know.
any die. Agree on a die, and whoever gets lower is getting ghouled.
D20?
For this is a podcast, and that must be
5.
expedient.
17.
Okay. You know what? You can just bite the wizard and slash at the cleric.
There we go.
There you go, split attack.
Wizard, that's
the
a
exact
22 coming
opposite
at you.
of how I
Oh.
wanted to be.
Oh.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that over 20 hits the wizard. And that is going to be for a whopping 8 piercing damage.
Okay.
Cleric. 14?
Yeah, it should be 10 plus dex plus shield.
What's your dex?
So plus 2.
Yep, that'll do it.
Okay.
It's only 6 slashing, but I need a constitution saving throw.
Cool. 20.
Oh, you're fine. You feel the fetid energy flow through your body, and then you feel the hand of... Who's your god?
Kellenbar.
You feel the hand of Kellenbar push that shit right back out.
Sorry,
Totally not
what was the damage again?
6 slashing damage.
Cool.
The voice downstairs continues to yell vague things. Ismark, Tatiana, Destiny, Foolish, so on. Kalia?
Oh, okay.
Kick, punch, that.
Punch that goo!
I'm gonna
Kicking
try
in the
to
face.
attack the ghoul again with Guiding Bolt. Or actually, no, he's right there. I'm gonna use my mace. Cool. Does 20 hit him?
20 hits him.
Cool.
Ooh.
Alright. 4, 6, 7. 7 damage
Okay, he is
with my mace.
none too pleased as you cave in his left shoulder entirely.
Die, you wretched undead.
As soon as it recoils back, you can see that you've done something internal because its balance is off.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Thorig.
How much did you do it?
Kill
7
it.
damage.
How's 12?
12 is what you need.
Ooh, just enough. And that is 8 more.
8 more. The thing crumples dead upon you, and as the rage of the grave leaves its face, you can see it slowly morph back into a slightly softer form. This was not your wife, but this was some poor woman at some point.
Oh.
You are not a slug.
It's just, with its dying moments, its claw comes up and in a mockingly gentle moment just brushes the side of your face and collapses.
Yeah, no. I don't like that.
As its
Bad touch.
wretched form shudders and heaves on the floor. It looks like mist is expelled from its lungs before it dissipates through the room.
That is gross.
Interesting.
The remaining ghoul. Keep.
Do
chewing
I
on-
get to do
Oh shoot!
anything?
I'm sorry.
I'm not reading my book right now.
I just went from. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You totally got skipped.
You totally got skipped.
Yeah.
What happened was there's a different initiative that starts with S on here, and I might have accidentally put its name over you.
Oh.
Okay.
And at that point, I remembered
Yeah.
that my laptop was a touchscreen, and I could solve this problem.
I have one of those tablet pens if you want it.
Oh no, I'm good. That's
Okay.
got the battery and everything.
Okay.
How does this last one look?
Badly wounded.
Okay. I'm just gonna use Firebolt on it. Does a 13 hit?
Sure does.
Fantastic.
What's my number, so?
It's just a D10. Where's the D10? For 4 damage.
Okay. Do you consider your firebolt more of a sudden blast of heat and force, or more of just a concentrated laser? Because technically speaking, both are correct.
I typically go with actual fiery type things, not so much lasers.
Okay. So yeah, just with one big last concussive shunt, you obliterate this thing's fucking head. You watch its neck self-cauterize as it just falls over in the hallway. It smells awful, but you have won.
Good job, Silkier.
I just spent, a quite a decent time on a wagon with a dwarf, so I'm sure the smell's not that bad.
Oh.
Hey, I bathe occasionally.
From below, the loud quote-unquote stranger's voice echoes one last infuriated time. Adventurers! Your transgressions tonight will not be forgotten! And then silence falls over the house.
Can we go downstairs?
Sure. Might as well see if everyone else
Do
is
you
okay.
want to go down there?
I need to make sure everyone else is okay.
Lead the way.
Okay, I rush down the stairs.
Not so rushing, but
Okay,
I'll
well.
follow.
Alright.
I'll be sandwiched between you guys.
You rush downstairs to find all the doors down here, except for the main door,
Right.
still closed,
Okay.
still locked.
Okay.
The Barovian fog leaking slightly into the house, but no one else present or missing for that matter.
Okay.
You do hear Ismark's voice from behind one of the doors. Has he left?
I don't see anyone currently. Are you guys okay?
I am fine. Irina? And she calls in the affirmative from across the
Oh,
hall
okay.
as your wizard gestures furiously at his wounds.
Yes, I forgot.
Heal this guy before you
I will heal you,
complain.
my dear friend.
Please do.
Cool. You get
Did I take mending?
8. Or sorry, 9 health.
I did not take mending.
Your robes are fucked.
Yep.
I have 9 health. 9 more health.
Well, if you're lucky, your cleric can repair them in the morning. Oh no, your cantrips are known as a cleric, aren't they?
All cantrips are known.
Oh, did you know mending? You have some ruined wizard robes, my friend.
Yep.
There's probably other clues here.
You could probably use one of my fish hooks as a needle.
Opposite. Thor, do you think you can... Wait, is the door like...
Yeah, is there a way of
It
Is
is
it-
busted open.
Okay,
is
so
there
it's
a
not
way
like...
of
We can't like
mending
put it back.
temporarily?
Not without much effort and much hammering.
Okay.
As you begin to gather with Irina and Ismark to pick up the pieces of the door, to check on the coffin of the Burgomeister, and to try to put what was once a happy home back from the shambles that the night finds itself in, the dreaded fog and silence of Barovia take this place over once more. And aside from the slow rising of hammer falls in the house, nothing else is heard in the town, except for the slow, mournful weeping that seems to plague it always. And that's going to do it for this episode of the Blood on the Vine podcast. We hope you enjoyed our adventure this week, and we'll be back next Friday with more. In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter at blood_pod, and remember, there's always an open seat at the Blood on the Vine.